Hello neighbor, Alicia Dolan here at Creating in My Corner. I am live with you for Stamping Sunday card class. So I just had an event on Saturday I wanted to tell you about really quick so that you don't miss out on the next one. So the next Saturday Get Together will be on March 1st, and that'll be 9 to 3. I'm going to keep it 9 to 3 during the sort of winter months, and then once spring hits, we'll try for 9 to 5 and see how that goes. That way you get out in time to enjoy a little bit of that daylight that we have left here in Michigan. I hope that you are with me tonight, that you can see me. I have just got my software back up on my laptop, and I'm excited about that. I'm up here in the corner, but you can see my hands and hopefully my face and hear my voice. I am, let's see, I don't see where I can see your comments just yet. It's crazy how when you sign back into something and re-download it, things are just a little bit different, and then you can't, it's sometimes hard to figure out where where everything is. I haven't been going that long, right? And I have done some videos with you, but when you switch software, it's a little tricky at first. So hopefully I am live on Facebook with you tonight for our Stampin' Sunday card class. If you get a chance to comment or give me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. I can't tell so far if anyone is watching or not, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So tonight we are going to be making some cards together, probably 2 cards. First, I wanted to show you the cards for my next card class that are coming up. I have 3 of them designed, but not the 4th yet. So here is the first one. All right, there's one. Oh, I folded it wrong. So it's kind of a fun fold. It's a really fun card. Here is the next one. There are 3 designs so far. And here's the next one. And then there'll be one surprise card. I haven't finished designing that yet, so that's why it's still a surprise. Hopefully I will see you at in-person class. That will be, let's see, it's February. So the 3rd Friday in February. I believe it's the 21st. But I'll be sending out an email invitation to that this week, as well as the email invitation to the Get Together, which will be on March 1st. Now, the first one was a couple months ago, and we missed January. It was cold and snowy, and not many people signed up. But this last Saturday, we got together and we had a wonderful time. So be watching for that email to come so you can sign up for the Get Together in March. It's really a lot of fun getting together just to create. So tonight we are going to use one of the stamp sets from next month's card class, and it's called Lifelong Friends. Now, I hope you can see this, but the writing is a little bit small. So I couldn't have picked a better friend. So happy to have you in my life. Here's to lifelong friends, and thinking of you, friend. So I really like all of these sentiments. I feel like it's a fun stamp set. There's a lot of options. So let's get to creating with that tonight. We will I didn't plan ahead for my colors. So I think we'll start with some blue. This is the balmy blue. And it's definitely one of my favorite colors of all time. Balmy blue, and I'm not sure what color to pick to go with that just yet. All right, so let's start with that. Now I have here some basic white, some balmy blue, and we need our thick basic white for our card base. So people ask me sometimes, why do you use the thick basic white instead of just the basic white? And the reason I do that is I like my cards to be a little more sturdy. I know that once in a while, not always, people will put them out on display. And I like to leave my cards out for a while. I found that if you use the thick white, they kind of hold up a little better. So really, that's why I do that. All right, we're going to cut our thick basic white at 5.5. So then we'll have a standard A2 size card that's 5.5 by 8.5. We'll turn it sideways and score it here at 4.25. Now, if you don't have a scoring tool, you can just fold this in half. You want to make sure that you press it really well along that crease. I like to use a bone folder, but if you don't have that, you can get it to press pretty good. You just have to push pretty hard along that edge. Now, I still have a few of my things packed away from this weekend. I really had so much fun. When I got home, I did not unpack everything right away. So I still have quite a bit in this little bag, like a little traveling bag that I take with me. My scissors were in there, and my take your pick tool. I take that everywhere I go when I'm crafting. Okay, so let's just set those over here for right this second. I have a little dish over here. These are really cool, and let me show you real quick. So to store my little tools in, I got this little organizer from the Dollar Tree. In the makeup section, I really like this one. It fits most of my supplies, and even my mini glue dots sit right in that little spot perfectly so that I don't lose them. Okay, as long as I put them back in the spot, right? If I don't, then all bets are off. Okay, we need a balmy blue, and we're going to cut this 5 by 3.75. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to cut our basic white, will be our next layer. I have some scraps here. And we are going to cut that 4.75 by 3.5. Okay, now on this piece, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat, which I just put off to the side here. And my Stampin' Pierce mat, I like to use one side for piercing and one side for stamping. Now you can, it's kind of a self-healing mat. So even if you poke it, it doesn't leave a huge dent, but sometimes it does. And I don't like to stamp over that just in case it might mess with my stamping. Okay, let's use this stamp here. We're going to use this stamp with the two women on it. And because this one's a little bit larger, we are going to use block E. Okay. And I'm going to use some StazOn ink because I'm not sure yet how I want to color this. And StazOn is a more permanent ink, so it won't bleed if I do decide I want to use a tiny bit of watercolor on this. Okay, so now we're gonna, let's see, where shall we stamp it? Up by the top maybe? Yeah, I think so. We're gonna stamp kind of near the top. And remember, when we stamp, we're gonna lay our stamp down gently and then we're gonna press in the center. And that's really how we're gonna get the nicest image. We're not gonna rock our stamp. We're just gonna keep it nice and level and then pick it straight up. I feel like that's the way that I get the best image when I'm stamping. Now, if you have a different way that works for you, I'm not going to be the boss of you. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do it my way. It's just the way that I found works best for me. I feel like everyone has a little something they do differently that helps them get the best image or have the best time when they're crafting. That's really what we're looking for, right? Is to have a good time crafting. Not only to come out with a cool project that we can take away or give away. All right, let's clean off our stamp and then we'll do some coloring. Okay, this one is, StazOn tends to stick a little bit, so I feel like it doesn't always clean well with that, with the chamois, just because it's a little bit thicker than some of the other inks. I was looking for something I can't find. All right, so the way I'm going to clean that one is I'm going to use a little bit of my Stampin' Mist. So I'm just going to spray that on my scrub. Now, mine is a little bit older. You can see that I have taken it many, many places, and I only have the bottom half here. So I just leave mine open all the time. The new one comes, it's kind of like a book, so it opens and closes. Mine does not do that anymore. I'm kind of rough on my crafting supplies, and I've taken them a lot of places over the years. I've had this for a really long time, so it still works perfectly. As you can see, it cleaned my stamp right up. However, it's not in its case anymore. And I do love the chamois for almost everything. I just find with the StazOn, you need just a little extra, like a little extra oomph maybe. Okay, let's color our image. And tonight I am going to use some Stampin' Blends. I already pulled out the ones that I used to color my other card with. So these are the ones that we are going to use tonight. So for our little ladies here, we're going to use This is a light petal pink. I don't have as many skin tones as I would like, so we're going to use light petal pink for this lady here on the right. And I'm sure that her shoe is supposed to be in there somewhere, but I can't figure out exactly where it is. And when I'm coloring with my blends, I know that the dark ink that I stamped, that black, is not supposed to blend in, but I try hard to stay away from it anyways. Just because I feel like sometimes I do catch a little bit of it in my coloring. All right, so there's our lady over here. And for the other one, we are going to use our dark crumb cake. With the darker colors, I find that the black doesn't, you don't catch as much of it, or you don't notice it maybe as much. But anytime you use a light color like a pink or a yellow, even a light blue, sometimes that black will sneak in there just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to have this one on the right. Let's make her hair blonde. And the only yellow that I have is Daffodil Delight. So we're kind of going to go around the edges a little bit. I'm going to try and leave just a little bit of white space and then blend that in a bit. So she's got some blonde curly hair. And we're going to give our other lady some dark hair. So this is the bronze Stampin' Blend. And bronze comes in a pack with bronze and ivory. I have been meaning to get a few more colors. I tend to color with colored pencils a lot too. We have some nice watercolor pencils that blend well. But you do have to use a heavier weight paper when you're working with those. All right, so there. And then let's use our color lifter just a little bit to kind of add a little bit of shape to them. Okay. And then I'm going to use the brush end to kind of swiggle around in her hair a little bit. I think it'll pull in a little bit of that yellow and lighten up what we colored earlier. I hope that everyone's doing well tonight. I know it was snowing earlier, but it didn't seem like the roads got too out of control. I'm going to use some dark Pool Party for this lovely lady's shirt. Pool Party is one of my favorite colors, really. All right. And let's have our other lady's dress be purple. They're kind of springtime colors, really. All right, this is light fresh freesia. So it's not too purple. It's got probably a little bit of pink in there. There we go. And we'll give her matching shoes. I know that's the bottom of her shoe, so you can't really tell, but maybe they're flip-flops, right? Maybe it's summertime and she's got little flip-flops on. And we'll give our other lady little gray shoes. Okay, and then they both have a basket. So let's try for light crumb cake for their baskets. Now you can use either end of these Stampin' Blends color. And it kind of depends on what you're coloring. I keep watching to see if anyone is commenting tonight. I hope that, I hope this is recording. This is the first time I have used this computer. In fact, I had to download the app just before we started. So hopefully you are able to see me and everything is going the way it should. I know that the last time I started recording, my sound was not on. So that was kind of a bummer. But we did get it figured out, didn't we? With the help of, I believe it was Mika Cole, who said, "Hey, your sound is not working." So I appreciate your comments, guys. If you ever have a comment, sometimes I don't see them right away, but I do always go back and read what people are saying. I usually try to take a nap most Saturday afternoons. I did not get one in today, but that's how it goes sometimes. All right, I'm going to color all my flowers different. So we've got a yellow flower, Daffodil Delight. Let's have a light Night of Navy flower. which is really a dark blue anyways. These are all the colors I used in my earlier cards, so I'm just trying to keep them the same. And then we've got a pool party. This one is the light pool party. And then let's do a purple one because that will match our other lady's little dress. There we go. Okay, so now we have our little flowers. I'm going to put that off to the side. And we're going to attach these two together. So we're going to put on our liquid glue and we're going to use a little bit around the edge, a thin line. When you're working with liquid glue, it is best, or at least I found for me, to do a thin line around the edge and then a squiggle down the middle. And while you're working with it, you don't want to press the tip of that glue down hard on your paper. You're just kind of skimming it, because if you press it down when you flip it over to glue them together, you're going to see those little lines on the other side. And we want them to be invisible. Okay, so there is the first part of our card. And let's add some ribbon. Hold on one second. Let's get some ribbon. All right, we've got, oh, I think I might have just bumped my, this is, I don't know what the name of this ribbon is, but I know it's a current ribbon. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it just a smidge longer than what our layer is. This is the layer to our card. And then we're going to flip that over and just add a glue dot on either end. This is a quick way to get a little knot of ribbon on top of your card. Okay, now we're going to lay it across where we want it to be, and then just fold it over so that those glue dots catch on the back. Kind of got to move it around so that it looks even, and we're just going to eyeball it. We're not going to measure. Unless you want to measure, then you're more than welcome to. Okay, we're going to turn it back over and grab some dimensionals. And we're going to put these on the back of our card. I like to put one kind of near each corner and then one in the center. Sometimes when I send a card in the mail, that center will squish down, and I like it to stay up instead of being squished. Okay, now we're going to center that right on the front of our card, and then we can take our ribbon and slide it underneath, because we put our glue dots on the back, not on the front. And then we're just going to tie a little knot just like that. we can trim off those edges. All right, and let's make our sentiment. We've got a little piece right here that we can stamp on. And let's say I couldn't have picked a better friend, mostly because I would like to send that to someone. Now, if you have a different sentiment that you favor, you can always choose that. Okay, and this time we are going to use our Memento ink because black will work just the same for either sentiment. And that way it won't be quite as sticky as it was when we used the StazOn. Okay, we're going to open it up. We're going to lay our stamp down as flat as we can and just press it gently into the stamp pad. This is the tap, tap, tapping I'm always telling you about. So we're going to tap, tap, tap our stamp until it's nice and shiny and it looks like all our letters are covered. And then we can stamp that right on our paper. Oh, I don't like how that stamped. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time because I think my ink was a little too inky. Yep, I like the second one better. So if you get a little too much ink, you can see that that first one is a little bit dark. It still works. You can still read it. I probably will put it on a different card, but this is the one I prefer, where the writing shows up just a little bit thinner. It's not quite as thick. I may have pressed a little too hard on that first one. All right, and then we're going to clean our stamp off right away. And I'm going to trim out my sentiment. I'm going to trim it just a little bit smaller. So now it's about 1 inch. Okay, we're going to trim it down a little more. So now it's 1 by 2. And then we're going to trim a little piece of our leftover here so that it can go around. So we're going to trim it 2 1/8 by 1 1/8. And then we can glue these together. So again, I'm using my liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive you prefer. I know some people really like a tape runner. Some people like tear and tape. You can use mini glue dots. There are a lot of gluing options. I just prefer this liquid glue because I feel like it's the most reasonably priced, and I can kind of squiggle my things around for a second before it dries so I can line them up right. Okay, here is our sentiment, and we're gonna take our Stampin' Dimensionals, and this time we're going to put them on here, but we're going to kind of put them by the bottom because we're going to set this near the bottom so that we kind of go up over the ribbon a tiny bit. This may cover up one of their feet, one of those ladies' feet. Oh, maybe both of their feet. So I'm going to put it right down here in the corner, just like that. Okay, and then we have a really quick, cute card that we can send to a friend. And let's add a couple of these clear ribboned adhesive back dots. Now there's two different colors in here. There's pecan pie and clear. So maybe we'll use the pecan pie on our next card. And I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool because it's one of my favorite things. And I have to show it to you. So I can use this little sticky end. It's not sticky right now because it dried out a little. But I can make new sticky stuff come out just by twisting it. Okay. And that sticky stuff is kind of like, well, if you're close to my age, you might remember like that gummy stuff that you used to hang up posters in your room when you were a kid. It's kind of like that. All right, so we can just grab these little dots, ribbon dots. I'm going to put one down here. Aren't those pretty? They just add a little bit of sparkle to our card. And there is our first card for tonight. So let's make one more while we are here together. We'll use our other image. Okay. So this time, let's see, we want to make one. This time that's pecan pie. Okay, so here is our pecan pie cardstock. Let's see, and we're gonna cut it the same way at 5.5 by 4.25. No, we're not cutting it at 4.25. We are scoring it at 4.25. Okay, just like this. I lost track of my bone folder for a minute. Okay, we're gonna press it down, press down the fold. And we're gonna cut a piece of white this time. Let's see. And this is our basic white. We're gonna cut that 5.25 by 4. Okay, and then I am going to show you one of my favorite embossing folders. So we have this really cool embossing folder. This is called Cute Crochet. I love this folder. It's beautiful. All right, so the way that we're going to use this, now I'm going to use my Big Shot. If you have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, that's what you're going to want to use. So we're going to take all these plates off, our 2 clear plates and our number 2, but we still need our number 1 plate. However, we also need this number 4, which is called, it has a special name. I think it's called the specialty plate. I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to open our folder and put our cardstock inside. Remember, this is basic white cardstock, right? Close the folder, and you're always going to put the fold first. Okay, it's going to go through first. As long as you remember that, that's going to help you out. So always fold first when you're embossing. If you put your folder the other way, it could break. They sometimes do. Okay, and then when we pull it out, look how pretty that is. Can you see that pattern on there? This one is pretty subtle. It's not a real deep pattern. I think that's why it's one of my favorites. Okay, so we're going to put this back out of the way. And here's our pecan pie base, and then our cute crochet embossing folder. Next, we're going to need to stamp our image, but I think we want to stamp it on, let's see, do we want, I don't know what we want. All right, let's stamp it on white, and then we'll see where we want to go from there. Okay, so this time we are going to stamp the 3 ladies together. Okay. And we could probably use a smaller block for this, but since I already have this block H out, or block E, we're just going to use that. All right, and we need our pecan pie. So we're kind of trying to do a bit of a monotone one this time. Okay, we're going to lay our stamp down and just press gently, and then we're going to tap, tap, tap until we have just enough ink to cover all our lines. Now, here's the hint. You do not want to smash your stamp down in your ink. Don't smash it, because these pads are foam pads and you can definitely smash them down. If you do that, you're going to have ink all over your stamp everywhere, and it makes it really hard to get a nice image. So we're going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp it not exactly in the corner, but kind of in the middle. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to close this up. I may need it again, but I'm going to close it up for right now. And then what I want to do is check out my circles and see what sizes I have. So we've got some stylish shapes circles here. And we can see that they'll definitely fit in the big one, right? Which is about 3 inches. Okay, so let's check the next size. So the 3 of them will fit in a little smaller size. All right. And so I'm going to cut these out, and I'll show you how I do that. In case you haven't seen it before, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine really is cool. You can do a lot with it that you can't do otherwise. Okay, so we're going to bring our machine back over. Now I have the Big Shot. This is the older version, really, of the Stampin' Cut machine. So this one has been around a long, long time. Don't ask me exactly how long, but a long time. So we're gonna put our plates down. We need, let's see, it's plate 1, plate 2, and then 1 clear plate. Then our paper, and our circle is gonna be cutting side down, okay, towards the paper. And we're gonna center it where we want it to be. Then we put 1 more clear plate on the top, okay? And we're gonna slide that into the machine and then turn the crank to send it through. All right, so there is our circle with our ladies on it. And next, we are going to cut out a little banner from the same stylish shapes dies, but we're going to make it pecan pie. So I need to see if I have a little scrap here of pecan pie. I don't think I do. Because so far it's not a color I've used very often. All right, so all right, I've got it right over here. But I do have some scraps over here that were in my set. All right. All right, so now we're gonna do the same thing and cut a little banner. So we're gonna take our plates, our 1, 2, and a clear plate, then our paper, our cardstock, then our die. We're going to put our clear plate on top and send it through. Okay, just like that. And when it comes out the other side, we just punch it out. We've got a cool shape. We're going to put our die away right away so it doesn't get lost, right? Okay, now to put our card together, first we're going to put this layer down. So we're going to use our liquid glue. We're going to put a little bit around the edge. And a squiggle down the middle. Okay. And if you want to find out more about my events, about my in-person classes, or about what Stampin' Sundays I am teaching free classes, you can sign up for my email list and all of that information will be sent to you. Okay, so there is that. And then we're going to stick these two together. So to do that, I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue kind of in the center of the banner. Okay. And I'm going to put these little ladies right over top of it. Just like that. We'll turn them over and add some Stampin' Dimensionals. Just like that. Okay. And I'm gonna put them off off to the side just a bit, like that, because we still need, oh, no, they're crooked. Hold on. They cannot be crooked. I stuck it down pretty tight already, but I think I can move it just a little bit. All right, there we go. They might still be crooked, but I think they're a little less crooked than they were before. Okay, and we've got a little piece of white over here. Let's stamp our sentiment. And this time we'll say, thinking of you, friend. Okay. And this one, actually, I don't think I told you, but I'm using a block C for these little words here today. And we're going to stamp in pecan pie. Okay. And this time I'm tapping, but when I'm tapping, I am not smashing. Okay, we're tapping, not smashing. So it's really a gentle tap. And then when you're stamping, you're really just laying it down and giving it a kind of a steady press in the center. You're not as, at no point in time are you supposed to be smashing, okay? This is not smash stamping. It's just stamping. Okay. So here is our little sentiment. And I think this time we're just going to trim it. Let's trim it at an angle. So we're going to take our little snips and just like that. Okay, and we'll put this, oh, I think we'll put it right there. I think it looks kind of cute right there. All right, so to do that, we need to make sure that we get our dimensionals here and maybe right about there. Okay, so we're just going to flip it over. And we know we can put one on this side, right? And we don't want to put this one too far over, maybe right about there. Okay. So then we can slide it right in there and stick it down. And let's add some of those cute little pecan pie ribbon dots. So we're just going to use take our pick tool to slide those off of there. And let's put one, I don't know what, maybe I'm the only one who ever struggles with this, but I never know where they should go. Okay. These ones are really stuck on. Okay, let's put some up there. And because this one is a little simpler, let's put just a few extra on. Maybe there. Okay, so here is our second card. Now, we could jazz it up if we wanted to. We could color our ladies in, but I really like it this way. I think it's sweet and simple. I hope that you have enjoyed the cards tonight. This week I'll be sending out the tutorial from February's Stampin' Sunday class, and then I'll start to work on these in the meantime. So if you want to get the tutorials for these by email, all you have to do is sign up on my email list. And I will post a link to that in the comments, or if you're on my Facebook page, there's a little blue link, blue button that says sign up. All you have to do is click that and put your email in. So these are the cards for tonight. They're really sweet and easy. You can use whatever you have to color these in. Again, this is the Lifelong Friends stamp set. It's really a nice set for anyone who has friends or wants to have friends. I hope that you are enjoying the some crafting time this winter. Don't forget to sign up for my next Kit Together on March 1st. It's going to be a lot of fun. Watch for those emails to come out this week. Until I see you again, friends, happy stamping.